Good morning, everybody. So today I wanted to talk to you about the narcissist and how basically when you were in the trauma bond with them, right? When they first got you trauma bonded, you were so like spellbound in the very beginning, right? Because what happens is if this is your second or your third narcissist before you wake up, for me it was like I had I had at least three. This was probably like the fourth one that I had. And so it was and so when I woke up to this one, but before I did, they continue to come stronger and harder. You know, it's like the next level, right? And they always say, you know, if Satan can't get you, he'll send the narcissist, right? And so that's very true. And when it comes to this stuff, you know, like I said, you usually start with a borderline. I've said this many times. More on YouTube. You know, I got a YouTube channel, y'all. Same thing. Soul Jet Productions. Check it out. Subscribe, like. You know, I got hundreds of videos on there, but for all you TikTokers. But anyway, what I wanted to say is that you start at, typically you end up, your first narcissist that comes to you tends to be more of a borderline, which is kind of interesting to me. I've kind of studied this for a long time, and I've talked to a lot of people. You know, just how the narcissist runs in tracks, so does the spell work on a track. I mean, you know, it's kind of like, you know, whenever you start something, you got to learn the fundamentals of it first before, you know, you can learn how to, like, in basketball, you got to learn how to, you know, get the ball in the hoop from the free throw line or something like that, or just how to dribble. Those are fundamentals, right? But then, like, down the road, you can, like, do crazy stuff, right? But you don't want to start trying to do crazy stuff before you get the fundamentals down. I mean, that's just, like, kind of the rules of it. And so with narcissism, it kind of, I believe it runs the same way, just as they are on tracks, and there's rules to, you know, the game. There's rules to this game. And so, you know, they have to play by the rules. You know, it's like the rules were put out, not even by them, maybe by God, who knows? I mean, you know, it's not like, it's interesting because it seems like they always come at you with the borderline first. And that's the one that you can really have a relationship with. It's very, very difficult. And it is a cluster B. And they can vacillate into, you know, narcissism, or they can, you know, vacillate into, you know, being a covert narcissist and stuff like that too. So they're all vacillate. And that's why some people call them, like this one lady calls them hijackals, you know what I mean? And she's like a therapist with, you know, she's a, you know, a major in this kind of department. And so it's true. And some people call them just all sociopaths, you know, which is, I guess to break it down would be the wrong term, but they get kind of tired of trying to break down the difference between a narcissist and a borderline, and a narcissist and a sociopath or a psychopath. It just kind of, they all can have aspects of those. But my point is I'm talking about how when you're the grade A source of supply and you've been under that spell for year after year after year, and you know, they really, when they meet you, I'm talking about the one that's chosen to wake up and break the generational curse. Right before you do, you really, to them, they look like they got you, man. You are in the bag, right? And then you end up, all of a sudden, shortly thereafter, you start like getting these hints that really like shake you awake. And for me, it was, I think a lot of it is over time, you start to see the same thing, a lot of the same mannerisms, a lot of the artificial intelligence, and a lot of the same manipulations, a lot of the same tactics. And it's like not talked about in society. So it's like, you know, I used to call them bipolars, but I guess what I'm getting at is they really think that they had you, and you were the best thing that ever came to them. You were the one that was chosen to break the generational curse. And when you're chosen to break generational curse, you cannot be gauged. That's the thing. The thing is God has blessed you with a mantle, with an anointing, to do a lot of things that, you know, the regular individual is not going to choose to do. See, this is all because we chose to do these things. We chose to innately to be a powerful, innate spirit before we came here. And that's what God loves, man. This is my humble opinion, because I don't think at all that it's outside the gospel. And I study the word. So I do believe that we are predestined. And it does say that in the word. It's just a lot of people don't like to talk about it because it can be weak to Christianity, and it can. But at the end of the day, we are predestined, and Paul talks about it in the New Testament. And we happen to be, when we wake up, more powerful individuals and more unique individuals and more wanted individuals and creative individuals than we were really. We're very humble about things, and because of the way that we were forced to grow up, sometimes when you're forced to grow up certain ways, it builds good character in you. And see, this is the thing. So the narcissist went down whatever path they went down growing up in the same homes we did. But, for us, we took it and we always flipped it, right? How can we flip it and make this better for us? Or how can we grow from this? Because this is all we got. So does it matter? It doesn't matter, man. It's kind of it doesn't matter, like Will Smith said one time. It doesn't matter if your parents were alcoholics. It's there's the guy who had 2 kids and one's an alcoholic, and they ask him, why is he an alcoholic? Because my father's an alcoholic. And the other guy doesn't drink at all. Why? Because my father's an alcoholic, and he didn't want to be like him at all. Okay, so there's 2 twin brothers, same genetics, and they go the opposite ways. And this is how it is with us and the narcissist. Because with the narcissist, I don't know. We just don't think like that. We don't think like giving up. We can't give up. And we also know that God's got us. I mean, sometimes we do. We can heavily lack faith and hope and all of those things. And, we can go through anger issues. As far as when we deal with some, real ratty things in our life that we have absolutely no support for. But so can everybody else, and so does everybody else. So I'm saying, just as much as we are humanity, we also understand that we will never give up, and that we were built for greater things, and our innate self knew this. It's like God says He'll give you the desires of your heart when you follow His word, right? And it's as we wake up to narcissism, we get more aligned with the Word of God, man. So when we start to get aligned with the Word of God, what's going to happen naturally is you're going to word up, and you're going to align with Him. And so a lot of times, people say, well, the narcissist, right? A lot of times, how did this happen to us? Well, what happens is when you get in from the family situation, the enmeshment, down to the love partner situation, it's a whole different energy, and you are enmeshed with the family unit. So then you're getting into the partnership, love partner relationship, totally different ball. Okay. And it's outside the familial, conquest, right? And so what you'll find, though, is it's usually who you pick as a love partner is going to be similar to the one that treated you bad in the family. It's almost like you're overcompensating or trying to still fight that fight in now the next familiar spirit to get them to understand, just like you try to get the love partner to understand all the time, you got it all twisted about me. Because that's why you go down that road for a while. You want to convince them of who you really are, not what they're telling you are. And it's you feel like they're misconstrued, or maybe they have a little mental delay. Okay, I think we all have hit on that before. Are you the questions run through your head after a while, is this person a little mentally delayed? And it's not all the time, because they could be really smart too when it comes to let's say logic, right? Because they do have logic. But my point is when you're the grade A supply and you've given them everything, what happens is they think also, because you're spellbound in the very beginning, and to them it's you're in the bag, and then you wake up and you become the most powerful empath and the most powerful source of supply that they've ever known in their entire life, and they don't know what to do. Now think about that, y'all. And this is how things happen, and this is how things work. This is how God works. You know why God works this way? Because He wants to get the glory, and He can have it, man. I want Him to have it, because I want Him to use me for more and greater things. And I know I can't do it without Him. And so did, Gideon and the 300. Everybody knows that they couldn't fight 300,000 soldiers with 300 soldiers and stuff like that. God will take like a normal individual. Like when they talk about Samson, they say they think he was like an average man, like, but he would kill 1,000 soldiers with the jawbone of an ox, okay, on a hillside. 1,000 soldiers with the jawbone of an ox. Like, it's not even like a sword, y'all. He didn't even have armor on. Okay? But the covert narcissist comes to you and she will put your eyes out, just like they did Samson. Delilah, you know, they like to call it the Jezebel spirit, but honestly, I almost feel like they should be calling it the Delilah spirit, because Delilah is really what I feel like you see. I mean, I'm not going to take away from it because it's probably what God chose for it to be, and that's the right way. But I'm just saying, to me, seems like Delilah is more fitting from these stories that, you know, you would read in the Word, you know, that happened in the very, very long back past. But they think they have you, and when you wake up, it's almost like the whole thing with Diddy and Cassie, right? At the end of the day, Diddy thought Cassie was the weakest in his whole camp, and she was the one that outed him and caused all of his troubles. And it's gonna start to sound like she might be the most, you know, elevate to a more powerful individual than she even thought, and anybody else ever thought. And that's kind of how God kind of tends to work. I don't want to put God in that whole situation, but my point is they will stomp all over you. They will walk all over you. You will let them. You will wake up. You will walk away. They will crush you. Okay? They will crush you into the ground, and you will let them do it. You will walk away, and you won't really cause too much wave with them. Okay? And then what happens is you will go inside. You'll find that there's these little niches, these little dark spots that you need to shine some light on, y'all. You need to wake yourself up. This trauma, this is the thing. See, with the narcissist, this trauma, it killed them. Whatever trauma they dealt with, let's say it is trauma, okay? Whatever trauma affected them, it destroyed them. It had got them hijacked for life, man. There's no coming back in these cases. I haven't heard one good case that is real, okay? And so you have that. But then what happened to us? What did our trauma do? Yo, man, it shook us woke. It's kind of like when you'd see these movies, man, like where you would have this kind of like a Braveheart situation, you know? Look, man, you destroyed my wife. You killed her. You killed my friends. You know, you took out my family. You took out my town. You took out my city. You took out my culture. You blew up, you know, every building in the neighborhood. And you think I'm just gonna fold too? I did fold. I folded for a long time, but man, now I'm done. Now you're gonna get a piece of me every day until you realize like what you have messed with, what kind of force you have woke up, because at the end of the day you're gonna wish you never met me. And that's what happens to the narcissist. And it's not because we do these things out of revenge. We do these things out of even love, man, even to the very end, until it doesn't even make us switch on them. It makes us switch off from them. And you switch off from them because we get so stuck once we meet them that we start to focus more and more on them and not on us and not on everything around us. And we've always been focusing on others. And that's one of the things that they see about us, that they see the chink in our armor. They see us focusing on how everybody else is doing, how we can help them, right? and we don't focus enough on ourselves. And that is a telltale sign that they could take advantage of us too. So they come in there, they scoop us up, they know exactly what your fuel looks like, how delicious it is as a plate of food, man. You are okay, if they're eating McDonald's every day, then, man, you are, you're like the Ritz-Carlton. Okay, you're like BLT steak. You're like Steak 48. You're like the Ruth's Chris to whatever the hell they've been eating. You're like the 131 Maine. Okay, to whatever the hell they were eating. They're McDonald's. That's what your fuel's like compared to theirs, what they've been getting. That's why when they get you, they drop everything, man, and they latch onto you, and they hijack the hell out of you as quick as they can. Because they know your fuel's good, and right away, they start to shine and glow, and they take everything from you. They can't take your light, y'all. They can dim your light, but we are the type that's spoken of in the word where it says, hide that light. And it's talking about God's light. It's talking about Christ's light in our life. It's not even our light. It's what he has done for us. Okay, so it's like, it says, hide that light under a bushel. No. Man, I'm going to let that thing shine, y'all. And that's what you're going to do. And even in the midst of the darkest days with the narcissist, you knew that that light was still just glowing inside. And as bad as you felt, and as hard as you tried to help them, you knew that one day that light would shine again. That there was hope for the future, and you knew that God would not let you down, even though it was a tough ass time where you had to wake up and push just to get through the day. That God had you somehow, in some hell of a way, man. He was going to show you, shine through that cloud. You know, they say the sun is always shining, you know, even though it's raining out. And a lot of people talk like this that fly airplanes because they go flying through the clouds and they go through different types of tropical storms and things quicker than we see on the ground. And they'll say, you know, the sun's always shining, man. You get above them clouds, it's right there. It's always out there. You just got to find it. You just got to get above them clouds, get high enough. And if you haven't gotten there yet, you just keep climbing, man. And that's what I'm saying. To get off of this narcissist stuff, you got to just keep switching gears, you know, until you find the right energy. Something that you can dive into. Someone that, you know, you can love the right way after you heal. And bear fruit. Anything that you can bear fruit, good gospel fruit, man. But the narcissist is a curse, and when they walk away, they know that when they have destroyed you, they know that they did a good job. They know you're down for the count. They know that they have had enough of you because they have destroyed you down to your very last bit of energy. This is a little hard today, y'all, because it's real. But that last little bit of energy, man, where there's nothing left, man. You have, like as the car would say, like one more mile of fuel until empty, man. Really, this is what they will push. They will push you to this, and y'all know this. That's why I'm just like y'all. You know, I ain't faking it. I ain't trying to do nothing different. What y'all went through, I went through it. They push you to you have absolutely nothing, man. And it's like when you stand on that word, man, and it's like when you have nothing, you have no energy, you have nothing to stand on, you're collapsing. People are just looking at you funny, man, and you're looking funky, right? And sometimes they'll be looking at you like you had it going on, man. You let this person just let him just destroy you, man. Like, how foolish can you be, or whatever. However, there's many different ways people look at you because there's different angles and different aspects, right? And there's different ways that people see the narcissist as well. But nevertheless, you look bad, and you even look bad. Your looks look bad. I mean, I look back at some photos when we had broke up, man, after that first cycle and stuff. I couldn't even go grocery shopping, man. I was so anxious, man. It's like, that's how bad they'll make you, those devils, man. And just know that they didn't care about you, man. They thought that they could just destroy you. You were gone already. You were over. You know, like when you're over, you know, there's those things, man, where it is over. It's over, y'all. And then something happens because, you know, they carry on with life, you know. They've forgotten about you. Everybody's forgotten about you. Okay? And you're forced to go inside. Ain't nobody want to hang out with no scrub. Nobody want to do nothing with you. You ain't smiling. You ain't nothing no more, man. They killed every bit of fuel, every bit of hope, faith, and love in you. And then God shakes you awake, man, and if it wasn't for his love, y'all, where would we be? But you can't you can't keep a good man down. You can't keep a good woman down. You can't keep a good woman down. A righteous man and woman will fall 7 times and get right back up. But not the folly of the wicked. No. When they fall hard and they stay down. I know you see a lot of wicked people doing good. I mean, doing not good, but doing well financially and stuff like that. But trust me, when the wicked do fall, those individuals, you never see them again. But the righteous come back. And the only reason we come back is because God's got us. And that's because our innate spirit was out for God's goodness, and we loved him from day one. I mean, we wanted to know him from day one. He shows us love because we don't have love like we get from when we meet him. And if it wasn't for his love, I mean, we wouldn't even have the chance for faith and hope. And that's why it says that in 1 Corinthians 13, because if he didn't have the love that he had to come be the sacrificial lamb on the cross and shed his innocent blood when he didn't have to save all of humanity that wanted to be saved, that chose him, that chose him, right? That's where chosen comes from. You're not just chosen. We are a royal priesthood, a royal bloodline, a holy priesthood, right? That's what we're supposed to be. And let's act like it, y'all. Because this is what happens is we have a mantle and we're starting to walk in it now. And when you walk in it, the narcissist is still trying to hit you with that witchcraft and still trying to knock you down. Mine would even tell me that I've had everybody fall except you. Everybody. Everybody. Everybody wanted her. Everybody fell. Everybody got destroyed from her except me. And I know she put witchcraft on me because in hindsight, I see these things and I know what happened. I'm not stupid and I'm not blind to it. Y'all, people use witchcraft and they are the embodiment of witchcraft as well. Watch what you do. Watch what you don't eat other people's food. Don't cook with people and eat their food. Because a lot of times you could be in the presence of your enemies. Just don't do it. That's just one thing. Because witchcraft, they root you. They do all kind of things, man. And so just keep in mind, if you understand anything about like witchcraft, you are not going to do things like that anymore, especially after going through narcissism. But you got to stay prayed up, man. That's your bank, y'all. You know, when you do righteous things for God, and you're focused on that. See, when you're focusing on the narcissist, you're focusing on the enemy. And when you're focusing on the narcissist, who represents 100% of the enemy, then when you're continually focusing on the enemy, evil things and enemies come your way, because all of your fuel is going, your essence is going into that individual and ruminating on that individual day in and day out, day and night. Your pure fuel from your soul's essence is going into, around them, and all about them. It's blocking them from catching karma. It's giving them mannerisms, and they're stealing your traits, and they're acting like you. They're acting like you because they are stealing your true essence, y'all. And that's why you're hollow after, because there's nothing in there. You're following somebody who is leading you down the same road that they were led down. They were led down this destructive path with seduction and manipulation early in age, and they were taking you down the same road, and they're latching onto you because they cannot love you, and they're courting into you because they cannot love you, and they were parasitically courted onto from the devils, and they were latched up to. So it's just another extension of the parasite that took them over. Now it's pulling from them, and now it's trying to court into you. Wake up, y'all. This is real. It ain't no joke, and my channel ain't no joke. My material ain't no joke, and neither is my catalog. I love y'all. Stay blessed, stay word up, and know that you are the best. There's not going to be another one. They will collapse, and they will never have what they had before they met you. They're going to go down, and they're not going to get back up. Love y'all. Peace. We out.